Good afternoon. It's about 5 o'clock Central Mountain Time here on Tuesday, June 15th, 2021. Now, as you can tell, I'm a big guy now, and there was a story that's been making the rounds on social media, the news. This Portuguese soccer player, or should I say football player, Ronaldo, pitched a fit because there was a Coke bottle, or if you at a press conference earlier of an event that is actually being sponsored by uh, checks notes Coke. Yes, this guy literally is biting the hand that feeds him. This guy ass is so far. This guy's head so far up his ass. He really thinks that he is Mister Everything and doesn't need coke. Now he goes off. Now this guy goes off on a rant. He's one of these idiots. One of these health nut idiots who always bitches and gripes about how everyone else doesn't eat healthy and how he's Mr. Healthy Eater because he drinks water all the time and the occasional juice for breakfast. Ooh, I and it. When did people turn into assholes like this? And I think the problem is that I think it all goes back to the welfare queen mythos that people who eat junk food, or not call it junk food, but eat sugary foods, eat foods that are high in fat, high in cholesterol, are part of the problem. And this is, and oh God, this idiot also on TikTok or whatever you call it, John Conrad or whatever. The guy's like literally, he just got pubes. So like he's like 19, 20 years old. He was griping because Krispy Kreme and Waffle House are giving away free food to people who are vaccinated from COVID-19. Now, Johnny Boy, they're not giving away the whole store inventory to one person, all right? It's one donut and one Waffle House, or White Castle hamburger. Let me just tell you something. That's like very small. A donut isn't really that big, all right? And I guarantee you, a White Castle hamburger is not much. I mean, I like White Castle. I like, but it takes a lot to fill even people half my size up. The same thing with donuts. I mean, like, but I've been hearing this crap a lot since March of 2020 when the pandemic happened and everybody was like, well, if we just eat a little healthier, if we just eat a little healthier, it would go away. And this is the toughest shit that asshole Bill Maher has been saying for years that, oh, the problem we have in this country right now is because so many people are not eating the right foods. And that's why they're having all these health issues. That's why they're having all these health problems. Blah, blah, blah. And what's so funny is about 6 or 7 fucking years ago, when the Michelle Obama was first lady of this fucking nation, she went out and said, you know what? Maybe the kids in the schools need to eat a little bit healthier. Holy fucking shit, woman! What are you doing? Our kids need to eat fucking French fries and ice cream. It wasn't about eating healthy. It was because Michelle Obama was white. I mean, if Laura Bush, Hillary Clinton, even Hillary Clinton, Rosalind Carter, Nancy Reagan, Barbara Bush, any of these women had said this, they would have been applauded all over the board, across the board. Yes, kids need to eat healthy. Yes, yes, yes. But the irony is the reason there's been so much going on in the school systems last few years, the reason Coke and Powerade and all this other stuff is in our school systems is because schools fucked up. All right, they fucked up their budgets. they screwed themselves over so much that when Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, Frito-Lay, Mars, candy, Hershey's candy, came to them and said, "Hey, man, we'll give you a few thousands a year if you let us put this vending machine in your commons area." They were like, "Hell, praise Jesus." I mean, they screwed everything up. I mean, when I was going to school, like 25 years ago, there was like the vending machines were almost isolated. I mean, you had literally, it's like Legend of Zelda, uh, you know, quest to go through the whole school district to find them because they were always in some weird uh, uh, storage closet place and on the other side of the school campus. So I mean, they weren't like right out there in like the commons area in the lunchroom where people could have them. And I used to I covered education news for many years, for about 10, 12 years, and it was amazing how it went from cafeteria workers making those god awful little pizza things. I mean, stuff that would literally makes this Tostinos seem like best pizza in the world, to like having like Domino's and Pizza Hut and Papa John's actually delivering like boxes and boxes of pizza to be sold at at lunchtime and at sporting events. And they do it because they give them money. I mean, you can't blame people for wanting money for stuff. And this idiot Ronaldo, does he even know who is partly paying his fucking salary so he can kick some fucking football around the soccer field and bounce it off his head for 3 to 4 quarters, or how much longer they have played those damn stupid games? I don't really follow soccer. I'm sorry. It's personal issues I've had with having to cover soccer and everyone in soccer being an asshole. And I think that's why soccer hooligans are the assholes they are. They want to fucking eat something, but they can't eat something because every fucking soccer player tells them not to eat stuff. But it all comes down to this whole idea of how everyone else thinks they're so better than everyone else because they eat healthier. And what's really sad is I know people who do eat healthy, and that's a very vague term because a lot of people can't. I know people who can't eat red meat, or they can't eat red meat after a certain time of day. They can't drink coffee. They can't drink caffeine, uh, milk, dairy products, peanuts, shells. I mean, that's why they don't serve peanuts on commercial airlines anymore. It's because of peanut allergies. They're being considerate, but they're not being an asshole about it. And there are people out there who literally would just go nuts. And I guarantee you one thing: they'll freak out, like we're gluten this and MSG that. Oh my god! And I know you can't look at it from looking at me, but 20 years ago this summer, I was fucking starving to death. Well, I wasn't starving to death, but I had just graduated high school. I must have weighed about I don't know, 190, 195. I think I got up to about 250, 260 when I was in college. And my brother got type 2 diabetes because diabetes runs in our family. Heart conditions run in our family. I'm actually probably have hypoglycemia right now. So I literally can't eat or else I'll totally get fucking weird. I mean, I have episodes in which I can't function. For God's sakes, I gotta have sugar in my system. So I'm sorry, Ronaldo. I have to drink a fucking Coke every now and then. Or I have to eat pizza. And even if you do eat like, fruits and veggies, like, I have this right here. I love this stuff. I love this dual passion fruit stuff. I love eating this stuff because it's so great. But still, eating this, people will still criticize me for eating this because it has fruit juice and corn syrup in it. Okay. So what's the alternative? Obviously, the alternative is you go to your local produce section of your supermarket, even if it's Walmart or Target, and you buy fruits and vegetables. You have a plant-based health diet, but that takes a lot of effort and that takes a lot of work because you got to have money, you got to have access to a car that will take you back and forth to the place you're going to. You got to have, money again because you're going to be going back and forth to the produce section at least three, two, three, 4 times a week. So I mean, it doesn't even matter because once you take the stuff out of the store, you literally got to put it in like some organ donor receptacle to shift it, even if you live a mile away from the store, because once it changes the environment it's in, the food begins to deteriorate and rot. And I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's got like apples and oranges and bananas that they thought were just the greatest, and they put them home and they went to go get them the next day, and they would always start turning mushy and runt, and they got the mold growing on. I mean, I have a very good strong stomach, but mold is one of those things that just makes me want to vomit. And but going back to this whole thing, I didn't start developing hypoglycemia until I was in my 30s, and but in my early 20s, I actually started exercising more, eating a little bit less, and eating here and there, switching from diet sodas to more water and more water, and I actually got down to about 190, 195 pounds when I graduated college. Now, here's the problem: I didn't have any money, and what little money I had was from graduations or stuff I had left over because I couldn't work anymore because my jobs were all school related and I couldn't get another loan. So I pretty much scrapped for about 2 or 3 months, and even when I got a job in like June, started working in July of 2001, I literally was like my food bill was like maybe $25, $30 a week because I had so much stuff. I had so much rent and utilities, and this was moving to a new town too. So there's installation and startup fees. And I think at one point I actually lost about 35 pounds in like 3 months, 3 or 4 months. I could literally lay in bed and my ribs would be poking out. I mean, I could feel it. And I realized later on in life, few months later, when I was able to get more stable income, I had destroyed my stomach because I couldn't eat anything and without getting massive uh, what you call it, stomach pains. I mean, I had to, I would eat a burger, and it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it would affect me the rest of the day. And I had to switch to just eating cold cut sandwiches for the remainder of the time I worked there, and maybe occasionally cheating on the weekends or Friday night and having a pizza or Chinese food or a hamburger, and that wasn't living. That was uh, doing what you had to do for your body. And a lot of people to this very day deal with that every day. All right. They have to eat what their body allows them to uh, digest. And I did this story about 10 years ago. This young girl, she's no longer young. Hopefully she's a little bit healthier now. But she was like elementary school age, and she, I mean, literally was so small. I mean, it was like seeing a human doll come to life, and she had I don't want to say a deformity, but part of her side of her face wasn't right. Her jaw wasn't right, and very sweet, very cute, very uh, lovely little girl. And Walmart had the local Walmart was doing this uh, birthday party for her, and they let her drive around town in the big, huge truck. She loved that, and had some other people, donate stuff to her. But yet, she could not eat the birthday cake that they had made her. Imagine that. They were like literally going through their frozen food aisles and seeing what was okay for her to eat because her body could not digest certain foods, or she would have health issues. And this is somebody who, I mean, birthday cake to kids is like, ooh, I mean, it's everything. I mean, ice cream, but I hope she's doing better wherever she's at. I hope she at least gets to eat the birthday cake. But imagine that. Imagine having to go to your own party and everyone else is getting to eat all the food and all the cake and all the ice cream, and you got to stick to some strict diet. And these parents who go off like, "Wow, I get my kid a vegan, vegetarian life," or our kids are on the keto or keto. I literally have been calling it keto. I cannot stop calling. I know it's keto, but I call it keto. I don't know why because it just seems like some Kato Kalin would literally just be all up in arms about. And I know this is like the 27 years ago, OJ probably killed his wife and Ron Goldman, and Kato Kalin was kind of like supposed to be an alibi, but fucked it all up for him. I drink. Yes, I drink Powerade. I don't care if it gives me electrolytes. I don't even know what electrolytes are. I drink Powerade. It's zero sugar. So many people out there, so many worried about what other people eat that they don't even stop and think about what they're eating. And these parents who always like patting themselves on the back because their kids have never ate at McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's. I guarantee you one thing: your fucking kids are probably gonna grow up eating at Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's all the fucking time when they have money in their pockets. Or worse, they're gonna go somewhere like Cheesecake Factory or Applebee's and just gorge themselves because you had to be a dick about it growing up. And that's what makes me so funny is that there's even people out there who are like literally going to jail or being like cited because they had cats or dogs and they didn't want to feed them a meat byproduct. Cats and dogs are carnivores. They're natural predators, all right? The fact that we've domesticated them a little bit doesn't mean the fact that they're not going to go out and try to get some. I mean, cats, just because your cat doesn't go after a mouse doesn't mean that he doesn't want to. And you often hear these weird stories about these people who who die and they're dead for a few days before anyone notices them, and yet the cat or the dog has literally eaten part of them. It's their natural instinct, all right? They gotta survive. The food dish is empty. My human isn't moving. I'm sorry. Sure. I gotta eat. And let me tell you something. If your cats weren't that small, they would eat you. They might play with you for a little bit. Rip open your throat, throw you around a little bit. But I guarantee you one thing: cats and dogs are natural predators. They have that carnivore instinct in them. And you got people out there saying, "Well, I don't want to feed my cat or dog anything with bite products in them." Ugh, man. But yeah, it goes back to this whole notion that everyone's so worried because there's somebody out there who doesn't have a job and they're getting food stamps or they're getting food boxes from the USDA. And hey, I've gotten both, and okay, I maybe did get a lot. I mean, I got meats, I got soft drinks, I got the occasional little Debbie's snack cakes, but so what? That's what it's for. I got this too. I got so many cans of these over the time I had it. I love that stuff. It's fruit. What's wrong with eating fruit? Oh, but you don't eat that fruit. Don't eat processed foods. And another thing I want to know is, my neighbor across the street, he started his own meat company, meat selling, and even if the beef is grass fed, I live out in Oklahoma, and buffalo meat is very good. If it's grass fed, it's very good and tasty. No, 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 not much fat, very lean. But still being grass fed, isn't that a little bit more healthier? I understand that a lot of people are having questions about, well, they don't want to kill animals, and you know that movie Fast Food Nation, which was a total anti meat movie. Sometimes Richard Linklater does a little bit too much with his movies. I think he's he needs to tone it down a little bit, well, my opinion, sometimes. But do you realize what would happen to the economy if we suddenly just stopped eating meat byproducts? If all these stores quit selling uh, processed foods? Oh my God. And let's talk about vegetables, fresh produce, and fruits. And now that there's this talk about, how certain people shouldn't be fed, certain people shouldn't be fed really, but certain people shouldn't be paid a certain amount. I guarantee you one thing: anybody who wants to go out in the field, pick fruits and vegetables, should be paid a very good salary because it's hot out there. It's it's hard because they're having to bend over, they're having to reach for stuff, and a lot of people get injuries from doing simple things like bending over or reaching out for something or turning around to get something. All right, I got my back injury from walking down some steps that had ice on them, and that has kind of limited what I can do with health exercises. I try to exercise. I have a problem right now with my right right hand wrist. I can't do butterfly. I can't do dumbbell curls because it hurts. If you can see, there's a bruise there. I don't know where that came from, and I can't lay down to do bench pressing and stuff. And my knee hurts, so I'm limited on stuff I can do working the knee. But I try to do stuff what my body. I do stuff that my body will allow me to do. The same way we eat foods, the way our body has allowed us to do. But this all comes down this hatred toward fast food industry comes to the fact that we cannot fathom that somebody out there works in fast food. We hate fast food workers. So by vicariously, we hate the products they sell. And yet I don't understand why. I don't understand why we hate McDonald's, why we hate Wendy's, why we hate Burger King. It is contributing to the economy. People are going to work every day. People are being fed. People are being uh, taxes are helping. What's the big fucking deal? Oh, I get it. You don't want people eating junk food. Well, boo fucking who? You can shit in one hand and want in the other and see which fills up the faster, as the old saying goes. And that's what really these people are like. They're not wanting to better themselves. They want to tell other people how they should live. Same thing with religion or Christianity is that you shouldn't be doing this for yourself, but you want to tell other people how they should do it. And that's what really grinds my gears. These idiots like Ronaldo and Bill Maher and all these other people who are that lady on TikTok who got banned for criticizing people for eating meat. She was vegan or whatever you want to call it. And so what? I mean, leave people alone. I mean, they're not eating human flesh. They're not eating domesticated animals. So what's the big deal? Oh, I get it. Because they're fat and they're gonna be welfare people. Who cares? You know what amazes me how we talk about we're a Christian nation, but whenever it comes to feeding people or giving people health care, we say fuck you to them. If shit ain't better. Oh well they'll solve everything. But I know people who are literally half my size and they have a half my age and they have worse health issues than I do. And that's what's so funny. We bitch and gripe because Calista Flockhart is skinny, but we don't bother to think, well, maybe that's her metabolism. What it is everybody wants people to look the same, look the same, look the same. Do as I say, not as I do. CrossFit, jog, whatever. Anyway, but what's so funny about this guy is that and they denied this, but I've even had people tell me, "Well, you just need to lose a little weight." And one of them was a former supervisor, and I wish I had it recorded because I would have sued the fucking asses off of that shit. And they say it in a such a way where it's not illegal, but it's totally condescending. And I guarantee you one thing: as being somebody in middle management myself, uh, even if you the best of the best of the best, if you look like me, they're not going to hire you. That's what's fucked up. They'll have some skinny person over you. So uh, the people who are saying that's why I don't really give them a lot of uh, credence to all these people who always say these things. Well, we're going to go off on Coca Cola or Pepsi Cola or Frito Lay because uh, they they're just idiots. I mean, it's like Gwyneth Paltrow a few years ago saying, "Well, she went out, she bought something that she liked for food, saying how easy it was." That's another thing. They always want to tell you how easy it is. Oh, it's just easy. Do it this way. No, it's not exactly that easy. It's easy for you because you have the finances and the resources and the abilities and the means. And I guarantee a lot of these people probably have aides or assistants who go out and buy this crap for them, buy this food for them. So, I mean, let people eat what they want to eat as long as it's within reason. I'm not saying people should eat feces or the neighbor's cat, but if somebody wants to go, and that's the thing. If I want to go eat a burger, it's no business of yours. If you want to go eat a salad, it's no business of mine. I like salad. I eat salads at least a couple times a week, and and I like fruits. But what I also like a hamburger every now and then. I like Chinese food, sweet and sour chicken. I like to have a nice steak, some nice pork chops, bacon and eggs. You know, I mean, I honestly think. Do you honestly think that maybe not having this stuff, not eating uh this stuff, is going to hurt you anymore? I mean, what's so funny is like you look at like what happened this past winter with the winter storm that affected parts of Oklahoma, Texas, whatever, and all these people were like gung ho survivalists, but yet they literally could not. They literally didn't even have a can opener to open up the cans. Well, they didn't have the foods that had like the flip top thing. Kind of like one of these things, one of these little things you can flip it open. I mean, that's nuts because so many people are saying so many things, but yet when push comes to shove, they probably will be the ones who are starving to death if there was God forbid, a global zombie-ish survivalist apocalypse. I mean, just knowing people couldn't even go a couple of months without having to eat at TJ Fridays or Applebee's for God's sakes at the beginning of the pandemic. But yeah, they're going to turn around. They're going to tell people, "Oh well, the problem is you're just not eating healthy." Bullshit. All right, it's bullshit. What they want is to control people. They want to make themselves look superior because they get up and they bike 25 miles a day. They want to put themselves on the pedestal because they're healthier than you are, and that's not what it's like to be healthy. You should do it for yourself, not for somebody else. If you do it for somebody else, it should be someone close to your family, your loved ones, or your kids. Even then, you should still be doing it for yourself at the end of the day because they should love you no matter what. All right, and you should love them no matter what. So quit being a jerk. Quit telling your kids or your adults or your parents what to eat and what not to eat, and just let them be what they want to be. All right. And another thing, everything ends every now and then. And I guarantee you one thing: if I was Coca-Cola right now, if I was on a Coke board, and Mr. Ronaldo told me wanted to say ugly things about this, I'd be rethinking the endorsement or the sponsorship contract for him and his little football adventure because I guarantee you one thing: if major companies weren't sponsoring anything, uh, a lot of people would have to have find other jobs, and they probably would need some assistance too. So be very, very careful about who you criticize and go against because eventually it's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And I was in the news industry for several years, and you got 10 people buying 10 copies of a newspaper at 50 cents. That's what, $5? But you have 10 people buying $500 ads for a paper. That's $1,000. That's what, like, no, 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 that's I'm so sorry. That's $5,000. All right. So sponsorship helps. So don't be critical. Don't be a jerk. And I always remember this. I close. I always remember this one woman. She was a waitress at a restaurant I used to frequent when I worked at one of the newspapers. She didn't eat vegetables. I mean, no, she didn't eat meat. She ate non-meat products, and she didn't criticize anyone else for having a hamburger or a chicken fried steak. But she just said that was her choice, and that's what it should be. So thanks for listening, and make your own choices. It's your body, it's your stomach, your choice.